Hello and assalamu alaikum to all of you. In this video I will gonna explain you that how to find out the empirical formula and the molecular formula. But before explaining you this, I want to tell you that what is molecular formula and what is empirical formula. For example, the formula of the glucose is C6H12O6. In this formula you can see that how many different types of element present in it. I mean, in this formula there is a carbon atom, there is a hydrogen atom, there is an oxygen atom, but the actual quantity is also given in this formula. That in this formula there are 6 carbon atom, 12 hydrogen atom and 6 oxygen atom. So basically molecular formula is the formula which shows you the actual type and quantity of atom present in it. So this is basically a molecular formula. But if you take the simplest ratio, I'm not taking the relative ratio, I'm saying the simplest ratio of the molecular formula, so it will become an empirical formula. For example, if I divide this formula with a 6, so it will become like CH2O. So basically this CH2O is the empirical formula of glucose. So now the thing is that molecular formula and empirical formula having a difference. Molecular formula shows the actual type and quantity of atom or the element, but the empirical formula is the simplest ratio of the molecular formula. But sometimes the molecular and the empirical formula is same. For example, the molecular formula of the carbon dioxide is CO2, while the empirical formula of the carbon dioxide is also CO2, because you cannot make it more simpler form. That's the reason behind it. So this is the molecular formula and this is the empirical formula, both are the same. In the same way, for example, the molecular formula of the water is H2O and the empirical formula of the water is also H2O. So keep it in the mind. Sometimes students get stuck and think that no, it should be different. No, sometimes it will be same. So now I'm going to explain you how to find out the empirical formula, and today I'm going to solve 3 questions and answer. The first question is in front of you. So first of all, the percentage of hydrogen is given, the percentage of phosphorus is given, and the percentage of oxygen is given. So what's the first step to find out the empirical formula? The first step is find the moles of hydrogen, phosphorus and oxygen. How you gonna find out with the help of percentage? It is very easy. For example, you have the percentage of hydrogen, just divided with the atomic mass of hydrogen. For phosphorus 37.80, it should be divided with the 31, which is the atomic mass of phosphorus. And for oxygen it is 58.54, so it should be divided with the 16. So when you divide 3.66 with the 1, it will be same 3.66, and when you divide 37.80 with 31, it will be 1.21, and for oxygen 58.54 divided with the 16, it will be 3.6. So this is the first step. Now after this step you have to find out the least mole ratio, and how you will going to find out the least mole ratio is just look at these 3 values and find out the value which is the smallest. So here we have the smallest value 1.21 for the phosphorus. So we have to divide 1.21 with all these 3 values, 1.21, 1.21 and 1.21. So for this I will get 3.66 divided by 1.21. So it will approximately 3 and it is 1, and for this it will be 3. So now I have 3 hydrogen one phosphorus and 3 oxygen. So the formula is H3P1 and O3. This is the empirical formula of this question. So what I have done, so first of all I have the percentages. I divide the percentages with the atomic mass of hydrogen, phosphorus and oxygen, and then after getting the value 3.66, 1.21, 3.6, I found 1.21 is the smallest value among all these, so I just divide with all these three values. I got hydrogen 3, phosphorus 1 and oxygen 3, so the formula now become H3PO3. Now let's move to the next question. Here we have another question. In this question we also have to find out the empirical formula. You can see here the first step for carbon 58.82 divided with the 12, hydrogen 9.80 divided with the 1, oxygen 31.37 divided with the 16. So for the hydrogen it will be same, and for the carbon 58.82 divided with the 12, it is 4.9, and for oxygen 31.37 divided with the 16, it is 1.9. So you can see here you don't need to find out the least mole ratio in this formula, because the value is approximately to the whole number. You can consider the 4.9 as a 5, or hydrogen for 9.8 equals to 10, and for oxygen 1.9 equals to 2. So the formula is C5H10O2. But if the value instead of 4.9, if it is 4.7, you are not allowed to make it whole number. You have to solve by finding out the least mole ratio. Keep it in the mind. Now last question for the empirical formula is, let me show you. Here we have another formula, question. So same thing for carbon 69.77 divided with the 12, hydrogen 1.63 divided with the 1, and oxygen 18.60 divided with the 16. So for carbon 69.77 divided with the 12, I got 5.81. For hydrogen it is 11.63, and for oxygen 18.60 divided with the 16, 1.16. Now just take the least mole ratio. It should be divided with the 1.16, 1.16, 1.16. So 5.81 divided by 1.16. When you divide the 5.81 with the 1.16, it is equal to 5. For hydrogen 11.63 divided by 1.16, it is equal to 10, and for oxygen it should be 1. So the formula is C5H10O1. This is the formula. So I have solved 3 numericals and question answer for you. I hope you all understand. Keep watching the videos and don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you.